little host.
I'd like to do a little chicken update. These are our Red Rangers. As of today, they're 5 weeks old, and they have exploded. I've never seen chicks grow this fast. So we're very excited about this breed.
That one has a rooster.
It's looking like we got a good hen to roo ratio. We have a few that might be a rooster, but they're still too little to kind of tell what we got. This guy might be a rooster. We just don't know yet. They're doing good. They're growing like weeds. We've had the worst luck with our plants this year. We would plant them and basically nothing came up. So we had this bed full of Tiny Tim tomatoes, and this is the only one that's thriving. It's the only one that came up. It's the only one that's doing anything. These are our free beds that we made. We have a video, we'll link it. It shows how we put these together. But this one has a tomato, so not doing so well. Now this guy, on the other hand, this is our sweet potato. It has gone absolutely crazy. It's vining out everywhere. It's touching the ground and vining back up the other planters. Right next to it, we have our beefsteak tomato. We've got lots of blooms setting on, and a couple tomatoes. The okra is producing like crazy, even though it isn't getting very tall. It's kind of short and stumpy and low to the ground, but we've got, I don't know how much off of already. More than we bargained for. We added some compost and Epsom salt to our zucchinis, and they've absolutely exploded. This plant had come up and was barely 2 little leaves, and the bugs had ate it down to almost nothing. So we're really excited. It's starting to bloom now, so soon we'll have zucchini that we can make bread with and make noodles and put in the freezer for this winter. We also have some that we've planted later that are coming up behind them. As you can see, we're going to have zucchini coming out of our ears shortly. These were planted at several different stages because our seed didn't come up, so we replanted, and then we got a really good rain and everything popped up at once. I just can't get over how big this guy's gotten. He's had a rough start. The bugs attacked him basically as soon as he popped out of the ground. We had very dry weather, so we had to water constantly. But right now, he's just starting to bloom. So we're excited to be able to get zucchini soon. My purple bush beans are doing amazing. They are just starting to bloom. So we'll have beans again from them shortly as well. And right here beside them, if I can get it, we have mammoth sunflowers starting to grow really well. It took them a while. They got stunted as well. But soon we'll have flowering sunflowers again in the garden. And over here is my hubby. He's cleaning out a row. He's going to plant some ginger that we've had growing for a while in a tray that's needed transplanted for a while. Overlook the weeds. We haven't had much time to be down here.
This is our ginger. Well, we're in zone 6B. It won't last through the winter or the cold, so this fall, before frost, we'll come down here, dig this up, repot it, and bring it back in the house, keep it over winter.
In this bed, we have cucumbers. They're just starting to vine and spread out. We didn't get a spring crop and we didn't get a summer crop this year, so this will be our first cucumbers of the season. Do you see that, guys? We didn't even know. We have blooms in our cucumbers. How exciting is that? The tomatoes, although they're small, are actually starting to grow. We have a few that the rabbits haven't eaten. We've got them mulched in and composted to try to keep the weeds at bay, to give them the best chance that they can have. So hopefully we beat the timeline before frost and get some fresh tomatoes to be able to use to grow, not only for seed for next year, but to can and have some delicious tomato dumplings. Some of these rows are empty. We planted them, but they never came up. So we're going to go back through, weed them. We still have time for turnips and radishes, so we're planning on planting these 3 or 4 rows here full of them. The radishes are only 30 days, so we can get several crops out of them still before winter sets in. We not only have regular plants and flowers and vegetables in our garden, this is a gooseberry. We've tended this thing through several moves, and he's not growing very well just yet, but he finally has some green leaves back on him. He's getting a little taller, and maybe by next year, him and his buddy might produce us enough berries to make a little bit of jam. In this row, we have gooseberries and honeyberries and vining kiwi. This guy is buckwheat. We planted this in our garden one year to kind of have some more things for the pollinators, for our honeybees. It helps to add nitrogen to your soil. It also produces some seeds that you can mill up and use for grain. We also have a few just regular green pole beans that are coming up. These guys took forever. We planted them and we waited and nothing happened. But finally, we got some up. They're doing good. They're nice and green and healthy. This jumbled up mess is where our pumpkins are. We planted them and they came up and we thought that they had died. But as you can see, we have a few just starting to get a little tinge of yellow. So soon they'll start changing colors and we'll have a few pumpkins out of something that we didn't necessarily expect to do much, but where there's a will, there's a way.
Come on, Duda, I'm gonna take you riding.
Bonus points to whoever gets the movie reference.
We got a little bit of good news. The tractor finally paid off today.
Woo woo! We were gonna take a celebratory ride around the field. We have a flat tire.